Hi there. Welcome to Sunnyside Journals. I'm Catherine, and I have a what's on my desk today because I have a whole bunch of little things on my desk. I'm just going to catch up with you on what I'm working on. I was able to actually put away all of my Christmas things into a box. Oh, that reminds me. Hold on. I have to go get something. I'm going to pause. One moment. Okay, I'm back. I had to go grab something to show you. So, if if you follow me regularly, you know that I've been belly aching for the past month and a half. That I only have one sheet of Christmas scrapbook paper, and I can't find it. I only get my scrapbook paper from what I can find at thrift stores, and I have quite a collection now, actually, that I'm very happy about. So much so that I decided the other day to go through it and to pull out the sheets that I know for sure I'm not going to use. There's some sheets that are just, they're not colors I would ever work with, or for whatever reason, patterns, designs. And I thought, why am I hanging on to these? Someone else could be enjoying them. So I was sorting through all my scrapbook paper and belly aching that I had one lousy sheet that I thought I'd put aside. And anyhow, guess what I found? Yes, I finished all my Christmas journals for this year, and I found my one single sheet of Christmas scrapbooking paper. Ah, but I didn't just have one. It turns out I had another one. I had two sheets of Christmas scrapbook paper. Well, they're going to have to go in next year's. So they're going to go in my box. I've got everything. I've managed to fit it all into one box, and I've got it put into my closet so that I can pull it out and hopefully stay on top of things better for next year, so that I don't feel, you shouldn't feel rushed when you're enjoying making a Christmas journal. And I didn't keep my resolution. Last year I was going to do my best to make one Christmas journal a month throughout the year, so that when Christmas time came around end of November or so that they would arrive in time to people, I planned to be all ready, and it didn't happen. Anyhow, maybe 2020 will be the year for that. So, speaking of 2020, I decided I need to start a new guest book. I like using guest books for my journals. I keep track of journals that I make in the back, and that was one that I was practicing my glue to see if it would stick. And you know what? Look at that. That's pretty good, eh? That's Fabri-Tac holding down lace on a shiny cover. That is pretty good. Yep, that's on there. So in case you were ever wondering, wow, will the Fabri-Tac hold my lace onto this cover? Yeah, it should. And then the front parts of the journal are always for me. I put my stuff that I love in the front. So initially I thought, let me put that out of the way. I found a few weeks ago on the wonderful day that I spent, pardon me, with Nancy from Wishes and Weeds, I found this really cool Catholic missal at a thrift store we went to. I loved the feel of it. It's really thick, and this is actual leather, and I loved everything about the feel of this book. And I thought, I'm going to make this into my journal for 2020. I no longer write very much about, dear diary, today I went shopping and it was rainy and I was feeling down, or that sort of thing. I don't, but I'll write down information that I feel like I'm going to need at some point. And then, of course, as you know, in the back, I write down the information for journals that I've made. Anyhow, so I thought, well, you know what? I started gutting this because I thought I'm going to make this into my journal for 2020. So I pulled out hold on, let's move you. That's DIY there. So I pulled out the guts here. It was from 1965 up to earlier than that. Oh, 1954 to 1972. So it's pretty old, and it looks like it's been lovingly used by someone. So I went through all the pages because it's huge. It's almost 1,000 pages was in this book. So I went through it page by page because it has some really cool retro illustrations in it. So I pulled out all the pages with the retro illustrations, and then it also has some really beautiful artwork in it. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll put this artwork back into it because it's so pretty. And then it also, whoever owned it had glued this sticker onto the front page. They didn't write their name in it. Whoever owned it didn't write, Edna Wallace in it or whatever. Anyhow, the more I got ripping this apart and playing with it, I already got the end papers ready. Back, oh, that's the front. This is the paper from that, hold on, from this book, the William Morris papers that I thrifted last week. This is one of those sheets, and I just thought that would look beautiful in there. So that's going in. Anyhow, long story short, oh, here's the original. It had two bookmarks in it, so I'm going to put those back in. I was able to salvage the little end ribbons. And, of course, I've got a little Christ child there. Anyhow, I just decided this is just going to be way too marvelous, so I'm actually making it into a journal, and it'll go into my Etsy shop. And I found this guest book, and this will be my new journal for this year, and I actually love this book. This is beautiful. The paper's lovely. The end papers are kind of pearly. I don't know if you can see. It's sort of a pearlescent paper. So it's just, this is a lovely book, and I'm going to really enjoy using this. I can use these guest books. I don't junk them up a lot. I only save a few special little things. If someone sends me some happy mail and there's just a couple of little precious things in it, I put them in. But for the most part, my journals are for writing down information. So this is going to be my 2020 journal. Now, what else did I do? I've been working on DIY. Almost done. I'm actually hoping to finish it maybe today or tomorrow. Although tomorrow I have to make plum puddings tomorrow. So it may be Sunday. But I've been picking out artwork and pages that I want to work on, and some illustrations that I want to put in. I'm not going to junk this up too much. It just feels so nice the way it is, and it feels like the next owner really should have more of the fun. I decided, though, that I do want to put some black and white washi in it. So it's going to get washy. So DIY, as soon as I turn off the camera here, I'm going to get to work on DIY. I made my tear ruler. I don't know if you can see this. I got this the other day on a thrift haul, and I needed a tear ruler. So if you can see the ends there, I hacked up the ends with my little pliers, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I did cut a big chunk out of it by accident right there. Fortunately, it's right near the end. It wasn't like in the center, because it is a nuisance. I tried to fix it with some tape, but the paper does not like that area. But for the most part, this is about how long papers are that I tear. And it works really nicely. That's a really nice natural looking tear edge. So I'm happy with that. That turned out nice. What else? Oh, tiny little thrift, huh? Oh, wait, first, I did lots of fussy cutting last night. I watched the debate last night. And I sort of went back and forth between Dr. Pimple Popper and the debate. And I got some really, really nice fussy cutting done. Look at these owls. Look at that. They're beautiful. It's a little big, but I'll find the right book. Maybe next year's solstice books will have owls on the front. I seem to have a lot of bunnies this year. So maybe next year's solstice books. Look at him going after, or her. It could be a little lady owl. Look at this one. Oh, hi. Lots of butterflies. Oh, the book had on its inside page and within the book dragonflies. Aren't they beautiful? Look at that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So I did all that fussy cutting while I watched them yell at each other on the stage, or else watched Dr. Pimple Popper doing her thing. Even some fruit. I cut up a book on farm life, and it had lots of farm animals, and it had fruit and vegetables. And then I also cut up a book. It was called a birthday book, and it was a book to write down your friends' birthdays. But I liked the end papers. It's got very tiny writing on it, so I may use those as end papers in a journal at some point. And then it had these really sweet pictures that I think I will cut down smaller and maybe make tags out of. So I did that. I was going to fussy cut this book up, this Kate Greenaway book, but then I started looking through it, and I'm thinking I want to leave it for the time being intact. Some of these pages lend themselves to actually be nice spreads, because they're all on one page. Whatever they're talking about is on one page, rather than continuing on to the next page. And so sometimes that makes for that can be nice as a whole sheet. So I thought, you know what, it's not urgent. Goodness knows I have enough fussy cutting to probably last me 3 years. Let's put this back. So I left Kate Greenaway intact. I did some tea dyeing of some cotton to be, I'm going to do a hidden hollowback spine for this book. So I'm just going to use just this plain cotton. Well, it got some good, I left the tea bags in. What I did was I put the tea bags in the middle of this while it was soaking, and then I sort of rolled it all up, and then I wrung it out like this while the tea bags were still all inside. And it really made some nice grungy stain marks, which I like. Only junk journalers say. I bet there's some of you out there that are going, yeah, that looks cool. And other people would be going, ew. Anyhow, I did a little bit of thrifting, and I feel justified. I'll tell you why. I took 3 boxes of things over to my thrift store to donate today. So I feel that what I returned with was so tiny compared to what I dropped off. So first of all, I feel good about that, because if they can resell it and make money, that's really awesome. And what I did was I did attack my room. And like I said about my scrapbook paper, I looked through things and I did a really good hard look at it, because I feel like my style of my journals is evolving and starting to settle into my style. And when I first started junk journaling a couple years ago, I can't believe it's been a couple of years now, initially, I loved everyone's journals so much. I was following so many people and I enjoyed their style so much for different reasons. I loved the little golden books that Gail Agostinelli makes. I love what Nick, the booksmith, makes. I love her style. Diane Hubert, I love her style. Um, of course, my crafty crush, I love her style too. Nancy over at Wishes and Weeds. I love Two Silver Oranges. I love her style. There's so many I'm forgetting to list, and I shouldn't have. I'm like on the Academy Awards here right now, and I'm forgetting important people. Anyhow, I was buying up everything that I thought, oh, this will be good. Oh, this will be good. Oh, this will be good. And so I was actually the last couple of days really ruthless in looking over my stuff and deciding I haven't used this in 2 years. It's time to let it go, maybe to someone else who would enjoy to use it. So that's what I did. So I actually gathered up some books that I knew that I was never going to make a journal out of, and I was never going to cut it up. It just wasn't me. As it turns out, I didn't know what me was until about the past year. And so I took them over this morning. I ran into my daughter there. Yay. Hi, George. Which is nice. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree when you run into your adult children at the thrift store. So I feel okay that I came home with a few little things, given that I dropped off actually 3 boxes and 1 basket that had things in it. The basket was full, and basket and all went. So I feel okay. So let's look at what I got. I got some jingle bells, but they're Christmas jingle bells. They have little snowflakes and green and red poinsettias. So I thought those would make great journal alarm bells on next year's Christmas journals. That was 25 cents. And there was only 2 missing, so that's a good deal. I found a brooch. It looks like pewter. I don't know whether it is or not. It's got some writing on the back. I guess I need to get my magnifying glass out and read what the writing says. But I thought I'd like to find a way to put that onto a cover of a Christmas journal. Wouldn't that look lovely? I found a few little vintage cards. This one didn't have an envelope, but I don't mind because I usually like to put them in the centers of signatures. Here's another card. I thought that was lovely, and unusual colors too. This one, at first I thought it was dried flowers. Maybe it is. Yes, I think that is. I think that's pressed flowers. I got it because I thought it was pressed flowers, and then when I felt it, I thought, no, that's not pressed flowers, but it is. It's because you can see that it's doubled here, and I can see against the window. You can see the light through it here. So those are pressed flowers. Nice. All right. And then I just found one Christmas card, but it was so cute. This little fellow looks jolly. So I got those. They were everything at the store that if it had to do with Christmas, it was 50% off. So those were usually 25 cents. So whatever that adds up to, and then 50% off. I got this book, Glenn Lote's artwork, but it was in the children's section, so it was 60 cents. But it's got beautiful animal artwork. Wouldn't that be nice on a solstice journal next year? Some beautiful, beautiful animal. Look at those little beavers. Canada's answer to the duck-billed platypus. It's like its duckbills on the opposite end. Little red squirrel. I love those guys. And chipmunk. Anyhow, I thought that this was 60 cents. That's awesome. I will be fussy cutting that tonight. I found some more books for fussy cutting. This book, this Anne McCaffrey book, has some nice artwork in it. See these borders? What I'm going to do is split this up into, like I'm going to cut open the signature threads, because I like this around the edge. And then I think what I'll do is I'll glue in journaling pages. And the whole book is all of them. Isn't that neat? So that one actually isn't, this is the fussy cut one. This one isn't fussy cut. This is actually, I want the leaves out of those signatures to go into journals. This one, The Romantic Language of Flowers, I will fussy cut. It's got some really nice flower illustrations in it. Very, very pretty. And even the edges are pretty. Look at that. Oh, nice. Oh, that one looks Christmassy. Mistletoe. I didn't know. Here's something I learned this year. Of all things, from reading Edith Holden's book. Mistletoe is a... What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, it's like when you go to a country and you come back and you've got a tapeworm inside you. A parasite plant. It grows, mistletoe grows on the branches of other trees and bushes. I didn't know that. And then these berries have seeds inside them. The berries ripen and sweeten up later in the winter, and the birds like to eat them, but they're sticky, and the seeds stick to their beaks, and then the birds, while they're sitting up in a tree, they've eaten the seed, the berry part, and the seeds are sticking to their beaks. They'll say this is the branch. They'll rub their beak on the branch to get the seed off of it that's stuck to it. The seed sticks to the branch, and then in the next season, a new mistletoe plant will grow on the branch of that tree or bush. How cool is that? I didn't know that about mistletoe. So there, hopefully maybe it's something new for you, or you're all going, Catherine, we all knew that. I don't know. Anyhow, I thought that was cool. So this is for fussy cutting, maybe tonight. Maybe I will watch a Muppet Christmas Carol tonight and fussy cut that. And then this, I loved finding this. And it was 50% off, because normally I wouldn't pay that for a book, but it was because it's a Christmas book. They gave me 50% off. And it's really pretty. Look at that cover. Isn't that nice? I don't know if it's showing properly in my camera, but it's kind of a coral pink, which I like. I've never done a pink Christmas journal. And it is, I believe, 1942. And it has some pretty poems and some little silhouette illustrations in it. And I like the color of the papers. So this is going to go into my Christmas box, and this will be one of next year's Christmas journals that I'll work on. I may have to make that bigger, because it's not, although a Christmas journal doesn't need to be very big, does it? If it's only for over the month of Christmas. I'll think about it. Gosh, my mind wanders. And so that's it. That's everything that's on my desk. I'm going to put this, I'm going to go right now, put this in my Christmas box. I'm going to put this in my Christmas box. Some lucky person next year may get this scrapbook paper in their Christmas journal. And I'm going to get back to work. I want to get DIY finished up this weekend. And I want to work. I'm really looking forward to working on this little baby. I think he's going to be beautiful. All right, take care, everyone. I hope you're having a good day. I hope everyone is enjoying themselves and if you're celebrating any kind of festivity at this time of year, I hope you're ready for it and that you're relaxed enough to have a nice time with family and friends. And if I don't do any videos before Christmas, those who celebrate, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and that it's happy and healthy and enjoyable. Take care, everyone. We'll talk soon. Bye.